Do you have tickets to Georgia Auburn? If you don't, check out Ticket IQ. Our friends, the link is right down below. This is live as of late Thursday night, so there's plenty of tickets still out there. Let's talk about the Dogs in Auburn. Again, if you need them, that's the place to get your tickets. A lot of people are very interested in this game, needless to say. Matt Stinchcomb, former All-American at Georgia, had this to say about Georgia's performance against, about said Arkansas, against Missouri. And he was on Paul Flampon's show on Wednesday or Tuesday. He was talking about the offensive line. He said a lot of different stuff, but at the end of the day, he said they were sloppy. This was a sloppy performance up front. And he was talking about how he had called the game against Kent State and how Georgia had kind of left maybe 20 points on the board, which was true. But to back it up with this type of game, yeah, I mean, this is the concern I think moving forward is if you're Georgia and you've got a team like Missouri, not a very good team, a team that's already had essentially a terminal loss by the time they lost to Auburn. I mean, their season essentially was over. They're 2-2. Excuse me, 4 games into the season. Bad loss to Kansas State. It was just bad. You know, Georgia allowed Missouri to stay in the game. I think what Matt was saying is basically true, and of course he would know. There's not a lot of people in the media that are more qualified to talk about offensive line play than Matt Stinchcomb, and more acutely to talk about offensive line play at Georgia. Not that there's a giant difference, but he would know. And in the second half of that game, they performed. Georgia performed better, and they were more efficient on offense. They scored every time they got the ball, with the exception of the final drive, which they took a knee on. But this was a better performance. But he's right. In the first half, I mean, Stetson really was that was a gutty performance from him in Missouri because he had people in his face the whole first half. Second half, not as much. I don't remember. But Georgia was having a hard time functioning. Part of that's the way that Missouri plays. Part of that's playing on the road. Part of that's playing on the road at night. But really, when it comes down to it, I mean, you got to be interested in uh, physically confronting the person in front of you who is as large as you are, if not larger, who is certainly faster than you are, because they're playing on the defensive line or they're a linebacker. This was the issue at Missouri. Now I'm still talking about the Missouri game. That's right, but it was you can't see that kind of performance and really grow optimism about the Georgia Bulldogs because they cannot play like that moving forward. You're about to play Auburn. Now, by the time some of y'all watch this, you'll be driving to Athens or listening to it. You should be listening to it in your car. Hey, listen, man, if your dad or your mom, they're giant Georgia fans, are not watching this, how are you keeping this from them? They know how to press buttons. They can get on YouTube, watch these things. Um, if you're not ready if you're not ready for an SEC game to maul the person in front of you, you know, you're not in the right frame of mind. And I say that and will add, you can't be up for every game. I get that. But you also don't have to be down. And it seems like they were down. I mean, that's just my take. Make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION right now. If you get the book, you're going to get a T-shirt from our friends at Red Zone and Athens on Clayton. Make sure you are emailing me immediately after you buy the book, dean@dogpost.com. Dean@dogpost.com. If you do not email me with the size, you're not going to get the shirt because I don't know that you want it. So make sure you're doing that. But DAWGSTRUCTION, this group from a season ago, Jamari, um, Schaefer. I mean, it's a lot the same line, but they regressed over the last two games. Well, certainly against Missouri, and Missouri was coming out, man. I mean, Missouri was ready to play. It doesn't seem like Georgia was. And I think too, Missouri did a good job. That coaching staff. This is back-to-back games where it seems like Georgia got outcoached. And I don't suspect that that will continue necessarily. But now I say that, and now I think of the second half. I don't know if I can really say they got outcoached because of the adjustments, and Georgia does have better players, and frankly, you shouldn't be in a game where it's coming down to the last snap of the game to see who wins it, but sometimes that happens. Now, that's sometimes. But look, where are we really at here? Okay, we're all adults. We can read charts. We can see where Georgia's been. I mean, it's been pretty white hot at times. Um, and this performance specifically, I would say, they need to come back against Auburn and have a performance where whether they cover the line or not, I mean, it's how you play. And lately, it's been too sloppy. Matt was talking about it was sloppy on the line. Yeah, well, it was sloppy in other places too. I mean, um, the fumbles that's sloppy. I mean, they happen, but it doesn't mean we're not going to celebrate it, right? Sometimes there's good plays by Mizzou, but if it's high and tight, it's high and tight. It's going to be less likely to come out. Or 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 um, is this like it was against Florida in 21, where the offense didn't play well, but the defense, masked some things? Well, they didn't mask them at Missouri. Okay, that's maybe why there was such a problem. If Georgia wins this game, 35-6, nobody's talking about it. They're still number one with a bullet. Um, I do think people, to some degree, are overreacting. I don't know that they're totally overreacting. I mean, you see what you say. Consumers are not idiots. I mean, they're not. That's why so many people are buying the book. Okay, for a long time they got the magazine with it. This stuff takes time to get ready and so forth. People are not idiots. They know what they see. They see quality. They know that was not great quality. Now, what we don't know, okay, is what has been happening the last 6 days. What's been going on since Georgia got back from Middle Earth, probably at 2 o'clock in the morning. Um, that's not that big of a deal to come back from. But what's that? What has been happening? Has there been, Kyrus Jackson told reporters on Wednesday, I believe it was, might have been Tuesday, but it was Wednesday or Tuesday, that he was embarrassed. Um, and even with AD Mitchell out and Jalen Carter out the bulk of that game, Georgia's recruited to the level where they should not be in a game with Missouri in the fourth quarter. Now, we've seen back-to-back games where Georgia's not played well. We didn't see that last year at all. These are different teams. These are different circumstances. But we did see Georgia kind of play last year at times. I mean, it did happen. The start of the South Carolina game wasn't that great. The Florida first half for sure, but the whole for the offense against the Gators last year was not good. Um, you know, I don't know that Georgia didn't play well against Tennessee. They were in a fight with Tennessee. That doesn't mean you're not playing well. So we didn't see it a ton. In 2020, we did see this. Even when JT was a quarterback, I mean, two of Georgia's games were blowouts for JT, but two of them were tight. I mean, the Mississippi State game and the Cincinnati game. Those were those were tight games. But um, I don't know what to expect. Um, I expect, generally speaking, them to really play well against Auburn. Um, and the what's happening to some degree um, is that you know the betting market is saying, "Hey, this ain't going to continue. They're going to start killing people again." They got to prove it now. I mean, it's you 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 need to go out and prove it every single week in this league. This is, you don't want people to overreact. Play better. I mean, of course they overreact when you play really well too. You see these idiots talking about how they were better than they were last year. Wait, what? No, 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 no. They're just a different team. They're just a different team. Thanks for watching. Pick up the book down below.